Welcome to Vaathiyaar. In this series, we will be taking a look at the different types of numbers. Now, some of you may be wondering, what do you mean by different types of numbers? Don't all numbers serve the same purpose of describing the amount or value of something? Well, I do agree with you on that, and that is correct. Whether it be from describing the amount of chocolate bars that are lying on your bed, to describing the amount of money that is lying in your bank account, or to describing the number of jewelry pieces you have in your bedroom closet. But I recommend keeping that as a secret. But all of these things require the use of numbers. Why limit the use of numbers to these three examples? Be it measurements, telling the time, looking at speed limits, setting the tempo before playing a song on your piano, baking a cake using the oven's timer, or the temperature of things. If you're someone running a business, measuring costs, revenues, or looking at analytics. For example, if you are someone who's running or someone who's a part of the YouTube community, you would have heard, or you might have heard of analytics such as impressions or click-through rate, and you would have seen numbers that relate to that. And you may use that number to see where your position is in the YouTube or in your YouTube journey. Even we use numbers to measure performance. For example, the number of likes for a certain video, or in the number of comments, or the number of views for a TikTok or an Instagram reel. All of these things require numbers, and it is important that we understand numbers, know what they mean, know what they represent in its given context. For example, a $60 shipping cost and a 60-minute timer when baking a cake mean totally different things. Wouldn't you agree? That is why it is important to know and understand what numbers represent in their given context. And it is also important to know where numbers are placed on a number line. For example, you're driving. You're driving on 80 kilometers an hour when your speed limit, or when the speed limit for the road that you are driving on, is 60 kilometers an hour. You need to know the difference between those two numbers and how much you need to lower your speed limit in order to follow the city's guidelines, or what the city or what your government has set for that road or for your area. Because it is important to follow the speed limits. I'm saying this again and again because I know many students are watching this. So always follow your speed limits. Even for those who haven't yet started driving, when you do start driving, always obey the speed limits. Anyways, this concludes my lecture about the importance of numbers. Why we all need to have a solid understanding of numbers. It is everywhere. We need it for everything. Many of our life's actions revolve around numbers. So it is important that we know numbers. We know what they mean, know what they represent. And the types of numbers, coming back to the types of numbers, what we will be talking about in this series. Numbers can be categorized or sorted into groups based on certain qualities or characteristics that they possess. And many of these categories, let me rephrase that. A number that falls into one category can also fall into another category. And you'll see this as we progress through each video in this series. So different types of numbers. So based on certain qualities or certain characteristics that they possess, we can group them into certain categories. And each type of number has a criteria or a test. We can use the criteria that I'm going to teach you in each video to determine whether a number falls into that category or into that type or not. And this is what we will be taking a look at in this series. We'll start off with natural numbers in the next video and go from there. So thank you very much. Let's learn and understand mathematics. Vaathiyaar. Thank you.